The global aviation industry is facing a series of serious disruptions. Air India has recently made bold decisions regarding its Boeing 787 fleet and even its 777. What truly happened? Let's find out. In the aftermath of the devastating crash involving Flight AI171 near Ahmedabad, which claimed the lives of over 270 people, Air India has announced a temporary reduction in its long-haul operations, particularly those operated by its Boeing 787 and 777 fleets. Effective from June 21 until at least July 15, 2025, the airline will cut 15% of its wide-body international flight operations. What really happened on June 19, 2025? Air India canceled more than 20 scheduled flights, disrupting both domestic and international travel. The impact has been felt across major hubs including Indira Gandhi International Airport Delhi, Dubai International and London Heathrow. The disruptions span key routes across Europe, Asia and India as the airline grapples with fleet-wide inspections and temporary regional airspace restrictions. Among the affected long-haul routes are AI916 from Dubai to Delhi, AI156 from Amsterdam Schiphol to Delhi, and AI152 from Zurich to Delhi. Additional international services such as AI43 to Paris, Charles de Gaulle and AI133 from Bengaluru to London Heathrow have also been suspended. Domestically, high-traffic routes connecting major cities like Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Pune, Amritsar, Indore, Kolkata, Coimbatore and Vadodara have experienced cancellations. In total, 20 flights were grounded on June 19, significantly disrupting the travel plans of hundreds of passengers. But what forced Air India to make such a disruptive decision? Behind Air India's unprecedented move to significantly cut back its long-haul services lies a series of complex technical and operational challenges following the tragic crash of Flight AI171. The airline immediately launched an extensive inspection program across its entire wide-body fleet, including both Boeing 777 and Boeing 787 Dreamliners, under the directive of the Directorate General of Civil Aviation DGCA of India. As of now, 26 out of the airline's 33 Dreamliners have undergone inspection and have been cleared for service. However, 66 Dreamliner flights have already been cancelled since the incident. At the same time, the Boeing 777s are undergoing additional preventive evaluations to mitigate any potential risks. Although the DGCA has reported no major systemic faults during the inspections, the heightened safety protocols remain essential to ensure compliance with civil aviation standards. Compounding these internal issues is another pressing challenge: regional instability in the Middle East. With multiple airspace closures in effect, Air India has been forced to reroute flights, significantly extending flight times and reducing operational efficiency. These disruptions are particularly affecting international services from major Indian hubs such as Delhi, Amritsar, Goa, and others, placing further strain on an already stretched network. In a statement issued on June 18, Air India confirmed that it would temporarily suspend or reduce frequency on several international routes due to a dual operational crisis: voluntary pre-flight safety inspections of its Boeing 787 and 777 aircraft, and prolonged flight durations as aircraft are diverted around restricted Middle Eastern airspace. According to the airline, these decisions are not only a precaution to mitigate safety risks, but are also designed to maintain overall schedule reliability, prevent last-minute cancellations and protect the safety of both passengers and crew. Air India has also issued a formal apology to all affected passengers and is actively working to provide assistance. Measures include rebooking on alternate flights, free rescheduling or full refunds where applicable. The airline reaffirmed its commitment to restoring its full international schedule as soon as conditions allow, emphasizing that safety will remain its highest priority at all times. It's amazing to have you still with us. We're on our way to hitting 70,000 subscribers and you are a big part of that journey. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Thank you so much for your incredible support. Following in the footsteps of Air India, American Airlines has announced the suspension of its sole route to the Middle East, Doha, Qatar. This route had been operated daily using the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner and primarily served to connect passengers to Qatar Airways' expansive network under a strategic partnership through the One World Alliance. However, As of June 19th, all American Airlines flights to Doha have been suspended indefinitely, while Qatar Airways continues to operate flights from Doha to major U.S. cities such as New York, Boston, Miami, and Dallas without disruption. This decision was driven by heightened concerns over aviation safety and regional security amid escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. The U.S. Embassy in Doha has issued a public security alert advising American citizens residing or traveling in Qatar to remain vigilant, avoid high-profile U.S.-affiliated public spaces and exercise discretion. The warning underscores the growing threat landscape facing civil aviation and international travelers in the region. In the past week alone, hundreds of flights to and from the Middle East have been cancelled in the wake of missile exchanges between Israel and Iran. Although countries such as Qatar and the United Arab Emirates are not directly involved in the conflict, their airports, among the busiest and most strategically positioned in the region, have not been immune to the ripple effects. According to data from aviation analytics firm Cirium, the United States operates approximately 358 scheduled passenger flights per week to the Middle East this month, highlighting the strategic weight of the route and the widespread impact of its disruption. Flight interruptions in the Middle East are not new, but the current wave of cancellations marks one of the most severe in recent years. Reports indicate that over 500 flights have been cancelled in recent days across major regional airports, including Tel Aviv, Dubai, Amman, Istanbul, and Beirut. Leading global and regional carriers including Emirates, Etihad, Royal Jordanian, Qatar Airways, Air France, and Lufthansa have all been forced to make rapid adjustments to their operations. Emirates, one of the region's largest airlines, has announced the suspension of all flights to Jordan and Lebanon through June 22nd, and to Iran and Iraq through June 30th. The UAE government has urged travelers to contact their airlines directly for the latest updates, as the situation remains highly fluid and subject to rapid changes. These developments pose not only an immediate operational challenge for Middle Eastern and international carriers, but also raise broader concerns about a potential global ripple effect on aviation. The disruption of scheduled flights could have lasting consequences for global supply chains, international commerce, and the integrity of civil aviation safety systems. Experts warn that unless governments and aviation authorities implement swift and coordinated measures, the crisis may soon spill beyond the region and affect air travel on a global scale. The tragedy involving Flight AI171 and the geopolitical turmoil in the Middle East may appear as separate incidents, but together, they form a tightening grip on the global aviation industry. On one side lies an internal technical crisis highlighted by urgent fleet-wide inspections of Air India's Boeing 787 and 777 aircraft. On the other hand is the external threat, escalating missile strikes and regional instability forcing airlines to cancel or reroute numerous international flights. As carriers struggle with reduced operational capacity due to mandatory safety checks, the added burden of airspace closures has only worsened aircraft shortages, driven up costs and thrown schedules into disarray. Furthermore, the situation also raises deeper questions about the long-term reliability of Boeing's wide-body aircraft, especially the 787 Dreamliner and the 777. Both Air India and American Airlines rely on the 787 for the very routes they've now suspended. This parallel has sparked growing concerns that the underlying technical issues may be more significant than initially believed. Following the 737 MAX crisis, Boeing had pinned its hopes on the Dreamliner as a symbol of recovery. But with a wave of disruptions now linked to these aircraft, confidence in the Boeing brand appears to be shaking once again, at precisely the moment when the company needs stability to restore its reputation. More seriously, the consequences are not confined to Air India or American Airlines. As two major carriers scale back long-haul operations due to both safety and security concerns, the risk of a domino effect across the industry is growing. With tensions in the Middle East showing no signs of easing and safety inspections tightening globally, other airlines within alliances like Oneworld, Star Alliance, or SkyTeam may soon follow suit. A new wave of international flight suspensions or network realignments now looms over the industry. And without a clear, coordinated response from aviation authorities and governments, we could soon witness a serious fracture in the global air transport system, one that is still tentatively recovering from the aftermath of the pandemic. Beyond the immediate cancellations and operational disruptions, the unfolding dual crisis also serves as a sobering stress test for airline resilience and crisis response strategy. In recent years, airlines have faced wave after wave of turbulence, from the COVID-19 pandemic to supply chain delays and aircraft delivery bottlenecks. Now, with simultaneous pressures from technical inspections and regional conflict, the spotlight turns to how well airlines have truly adapted their long-term crisis playbooks. One key concern is the thin operational buffer many airlines maintain in their wide-body fleet deployment. Unlike short-haul aircraft, which can be rotated with some flexibility, long-haul jets like the Boeing 787 and 777 are often scheduled to operate near maximum utilization. This means that any unplanned grounding due to inspections, delays or reroutes can result in cascading cancellations across multiple continents within hours. Air India's decision to cancel 15% of its wide-body services underscores this fragility. A single trigger, the AI171 incident, exposed just how tightly wound the airline's long-haul network had become. At the same time, contingency capacity remains limited across the industry. Aircraft shortages, compounded by delivery delays from both Boeing and Airbus, have left airlines with few viable substitutes for grounded wide-body jets. Leasing markets are tight, spare airframes are scarce, and retraining crews for different aircraft types on short notice is logistically complex and prohibitively expensive. In essence, many airlines have little room to maneuver when crisis strikes, especially when multiple events coincide as seen here. The broader implication is clear. Airlines, particularly full-service carriers reliant on global networks, may need to rethink redundancy, fleet diversity, and regional exposure. Investing in slightly more reserve capacity, developing greater operational flexibility, and stress-testing network resilience under geopolitical scenarios should become part of future planning. As of now, too many long-haul routes hinge on too few aircraft types flying through increasingly uncertain skies. The aviation sector is once again reminded of its vulnerability, not only to mechanical or human failure, but to the ever-changing dynamics of global security. The AI171 incident and the Middle East unrest are tragic and destabilizing, but they may also represent a critical inflection point, a wake-up call for global carriers to prepare not just for routine disruptions, but for compound simultaneous shocks that strike at the very core of long-haul aviation infrastructure.